I'm here today with Tracy Dowe, who is Vice President Relationship Manager with KeyBank. Tracy, you guys have been busy over the last year or so helping lots of small businesses, and we're in a new round of the Payroll Protection Program from the SBA. Tell me what your experience has been so far with this new round of PPP, and just in general, how Key has been approaching helping companies.
So this new round of PPP has, to your point, been very busy in dealing with clients and even some prospects. So it's a matter of gathering documentation, clients and prospects submitting their information into a portal, and then us taking in that information and underwriting the information that they provide, making sure they provide all the necessary documentation, that they calculate the right number as it relates to the amount that they actually need for the PPP loan, and then submit it through to the SBA. So the reason why it's so busy is, number one, we have a lot of questions relating to documentation, which we're happy to provide. And then number two, it's a matter of submitting the information to the SBA appropriately and just making sure everything is correct.
So has it been as busy as the first time around? My sense is the banks are a bit more prepared this time, and you're a little bit more equipped with technology to help make it easier for folks. So if they applied last time and applied this time, is the experience going to be a bit different?
As it relates to clients and even new prospects looking to apply, it's definitely more simple for them to apply as it relates to them getting a PPP loan. So when they do apply, they should have a really good experience. They should be confident in what they're submitting to a bank to move forward in the process with the SBA. So a bank like KeyBank, we're happy to take on applications so we can help them along through the process.
What are some of the biggest misconceptions that clients have about the PPP? What are some things that they just need to know about the process that's important?
So I think the biggest misconception as it relates to someone thinking about applying is that they just do not qualify. But if you're a business, you have your tax ID, you have certain tax forms, even for those who are self-employed and have just banking documentation, it's more than likely that you're going to be able to apply and be able to be approved for an SBA loan. So that's probably the biggest misconception, is that they do not qualify for a loan.
So, and that's really important, because if you're self-employed, you don't have any employees potentially. So you can be self-employed and have employees, but you can be self-employed and have no employees. You still can utilize sort of the earnings or the net income that you made before to help justify a loan, right?
And the thing about dealing with a bank, and I say even for my bank, but even other banks out there, there's people who are willing to help you obtain the information, obtain the documentation that is needed for the SBA to submit and approve your loan and your application.
So let's talk about that for a second, because even I, who've dealt with bankers my entire life, I'm intimidated when I apply for a loan, because I'm always wondering, okay, what are they going to see, or what are they going to tell me, or I'm not good enough, et cetera, right? So all that stuff. But I mean, there's no credit underwriting here, right? You're basically just ensuring you provide what the SBA is looking for, and you're not getting rejected for credit reasons. It's mostly about, what are your expenses and do you have the right documentation? Is that about right?
All you simply need to provide to a bank or institution is just the facts. We're all in a pandemic. So bankers like myself, we want to be in a position to help. So just supply documentation that shows what you're doing, the numbers that back it up, and you simply do a calculation that gets you to a loan amount that you essentially deserve to have.
And that's great, because a lot of folks I've talked to as well, they're sort of worried about, okay, is this really forgivable? Am I going to get stuck with a loan? Gosh, I've already got debt and concerns for my business. I don't need more. So in most cases, I think for most people, this is totally forgivable, right?
That is certainly the case. And being a banker myself, having clients who've gone through the forgiveness process, up to this point, I haven't had one client who hasn't had their loan forgiven. So I'm batting 100 up to this point. So we'll see what continues to be the case. I'm confident it'll continue to be that way, because again, in the underwriting process, we verify the information. So when it comes time for forgiveness, the loan is really forgiven.
And my understanding is forgiveness is way easier now for those who have loan sizes, I think up to $150,000, which is still a pretty big loan, where it's sort of a simple I believe it's like a one-page forgiveness application, and it's much easier than it was even at the beginning of the program.
That's a great point, Steve. In fact, it is 150,000. It goes to that one pager. And again, it's been a great experience for those who have a loan amount less than that. I haven't come across any issues relating to that type of forgiveness. I really haven't.
Many of our small business members have bank accounts, right? I mean, they got to in a lot of cases, but they don't necessarily have a banker, right? They don't have somebody they have a relationship with, or maybe they just have a personal account and they still haven't done all the things they set up for that business account. Are you open to working with folks who aren't working with Key right now?
I'm definitely personally invested in wanting to help people. There's other bankers like myself who want to do the same. So if it's scheduling an appointment at a branch or finding my contact information on LinkedIn or sending an email, again, I'm willing to help. I know other bankers are willing to help to get you through the process.
But at Key right now, do I have to be a Key business banking customer to work with you for PPP, or can I work with you for the first time on my PPP loan?
So as someone who's new to KeyBank, what you need to do to get the process started is open a checking account. So once you have that checking account and you get approved for the PPP loan, we can deposit those funds into that account that's with KeyBank.
So if I got a loan last time, and now I know I can get a second PPP loan, can you talk for a second about what the requirements are to get that second loan?
And we come across that question all the time as it relates to how does someone qualify for the second PPP loan. So in this, what they call the second round of PPP, there is a stipulation, if you will, or a requirement that if you look at 1 quarter of performance in 2020 over a quarter of performance in 2019, if there's a 25% revenue reduction in 2020 compared to 2019, you automatically qualify. So however you present your financial statements showing that performance and the 25% revenue reduction, that's how you qualify for this second round.
So that's a really important point, because there are some folks who actually may have ended the year last year better than they thought they were going to end it, and maybe even did better than 2019. But if they had that first or second quarter, probably the second quarter, right when the pandemic hit, if that was below what they had done a year before by 25% or more, they still qualify for that second draw loan, right?
That's exactly right. Again, you're looking at 1 quarter of performance. So 3 months of performance in 2020 versus the 3 months of performance against 2019. Again, that 25% revenue reduction, if it's there, they qualify for the second time around of PPP funding.
So Tracy, talk about deadlines and timelines here for this loan program that are important for folks to know.
To be clear, the PPP application process started in January of this year. And as of now, it has been communicated broadly that the application process will end this month in March, so March 31st.
And then in terms of, I understand that people also have to utilize the funds. I think it's by September in order to qualify for forgiveness. And that's consistent with, I think, the last round of PPP, where there's a period over time where you need to use the funds, right?
Yes, that is confirmed. Using the funds by September 30th, with the proceeds from the PPP loan should be used by that time to be approved for forgiveness. That's correct.
And since typically you're running these amounts off of 2.5 or 3.5 months of payroll, depending on if you're a restaurant business or a regular business, should be plenty of time to expend the funds in that period of time for your loan.
Yes, very much so. Doing your standard business operations in terms of employees, you should be very confident in being forgiven for that loan based on the expenses that you incur.
So Tracy, based on everything you told me, if I think I'm ready to go with one of these PPP loans, how do I get in touch with somebody at Key, or how do I get the process started at Key?
For someone who's looking to get in the PPP process this time around, they're more than welcome to contact me directly. I'd be happy to assist them in the process. If they want to go to another branch, they're more than welcome to do that as well. They can also go on the web, search key.com along with payroll protection program, and they'll be provided with a link where they'll see the resources as it relates to applying online.
Tracy, that's awesome. I want to reiterate to business owners, think about this for your business. It's something that you'll likely qualify for. If you get it, it's going to be forgivable for you. And as long as you use it, per the guidelines, and it's really clear in terms of how to do that, and it can be a lifeline for your business. So Tracy, thanks for helping to dispel some of the myths and answer some questions. And thanks for everything you're doing to help our small businesses.
My pleasure, Steve. And let me reiterate again, people owning businesses should be confident in this process. They should know that there are resources available for them to submit their documentation, to have their paperwork underwritten, and have it approved with the SBA. That's what we're here to do, and we're here to help.
And I guarantee Tracy's going to make it easy for you. Thanks again to Tracy, the KeyBank, for all you guys are doing. Have a great day.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.